Hello guys, my name is Devin Phelps. I chose to do my 10-hour project on listening. Uh, this has been a really cool topic to learn about, also to apply to my life. As I studied this topic, I've been very humbled and I've realized that I've noticed also good things, good areas where I'm a good listener, and as I've learned about the steps of listening, the different steps, and I've become a lot more attached to few. I've enjoyed learning more about attention and things like that, which I'll go into more. But first, I'll explain and share the definition of listening, like it says here in the textbook. It says hearing is the biological process of receiving sound, which is necessary for listening to be possible, but it's not the same as listening. It says here that listening is a process that involves a message going through reception, perception, attention, assignment of meaning, and feedback. As I kind of read through this and studied this, try to apply it, I've noticed three areas in my life where listening, I think, has become the most important, and not even just the most important, where I'm constantly having to listen, and if I don't, I find it maybe detrimental to these areas. The first area has been my relationships with my friends, mainly my best friends. I have a lot of friends that I know and that I'm good friends with, and we listen and things like that. But the deep relationships that I have with, especially my roommates and my family and other friends that maybe live in other places, like these best and friends that have become family to me, I found that listening is so vital and important. And I happen to live with these best friends, like I said, and constantly we're asking questions and answering questions and listening. And my favorite step in the listening process has become attention, because it is so vital for this relationship. I remember early on in my relationship with my friends, we talk and things like that, and I found myself maybe sometimes getting lazy in conversations and being on my phone or being distracted, and I found that I wasn't creating a strong bond with them, which is really what I wanted. And maybe not every friendship is like that, but that's really something I wanted, and I wasn't going to get it unless I shared that attention to them. And right here we learn in the textbook a little bit about attention. And listening to attention represents the focus of one of the many stimuli around you at any given moment. In this phase, the other stimuli fade into the background, which you focus on what you see or hear from the other person. Typically, your attention comes and goes as you focus on the other person, the environment, and what is going on in your mind. I remember I'd always use the excuse ADD, which it was just totally an excuse. I mean, it's totally something people have, but I don't have it. But I'd always use that, and I began to believe and tell people I did have ADD, which I find is kind of a trend sometimes. Maybe my family, my friends, we kind of just say that, but I think it's just a lack of attention and a lack of maybe I feel like love sometimes. I don't show that love when I'm not giving attention. And we learned here attention is being able to stay focused on one thing, or whether it's the environment around you or the person you're talking to. And I know that I've improved my relationships with my friends as I've been more attentive to them and not just looking to say a response to what they're saying. But yeah, that's the first area. The second area has been in church. I was called as the secretary of my old ward, and then when I left, I was released, and then I was called immediately into my other ward. So I've been secretary pretty much constantly, last 2.5 years, I think, over here in BYUI, and it has been extremely humbling. Because I don't feel like I'd ever needed to really listen in a calling. I was either like Sunday school, so I'd have to listen to them, but I didn't have anyone like I'd constantly be talking to. It was only one day every couple weeks I'd teach, when I was Sunday school teacher a long time ago. But as I've been secretary, I've noticed I've had to completely, daily I'm constantly kind of on and off talking to the bishop, whether it's scheduling his meetings, scheduling meetings with his counselors, scheduling the ward council and his other meetings that he has after and before. And I remember early on in the calling, I wasn't very good at it, and it took a little while. because I realized, and the bishop helped me realize, he would tell me things, and I'd hear it. Like we learned, I'd go through my head, and I'd hear what he was saying, but I wouldn't really process it, and maybe I wouldn't write it down after. He'd say, oh, I want you to write this person down so I can meet with them, and I need you to reach out to this person to see when they're free. And then I'd have to keep asking him, what did you want, or what time did you say this person? When listening is truly sitting down or standing up or whatever, is truly just giving that attention to the bishop and whoever's talking to me in my calling. And that's been really helpful. I've noticed the past 2 years have gotten a lot easier with the calling. I feel like it's become easier because not that it's easier because of anything anyone else did. It's because I've tried to just put my focus on what they're saying and what I'm being told to do. And I've seen everything run a lot more smoothly in the calling. And the third area, and maybe most important, I don't know, but in school, I'm in a public speaking class, and every day I learn something new. And I remember early on, I wasn't really listening as much in the class, and it could show, and it showed in my public speaking speeches, because I wasn't really listening to what the students were saying in their speeches, and I wasn't applying their kind of attributes and the great actions and ways that they give their speeches. Wasn't applying those things, and that was really humbling, because I remember giving a speech and it did not go well, and I had to sit back, and I was humble, and I realized, okay, I just gotta listen to what the book says. I gotta apply it, and my speeches have become a lot better. My grades gone up, and so I'd say those three areas in my life have really consumed my life a lot more than I realized, than I ever had realized before coming up here. And listening has been the most important thing, I'd say, like in the examples I gave, in building these relationships with my friends, and making the ward run smoothly, or the bishop's work in the ward run smoothly, as I've listened to him and applied what he's asked me to do. And then of course in school, I've tried to listen what's being taught and apply it and put it into my own work. I have seen my grades improve. And so this whole lesson and theory, and all these theories and things we learn in the textbook and in the assignments we've done in class have been extremely important, and along with every step of listening, which I will read right here. The first step is, of course, receiving, attention, assign meaning, listener's response, feedback, message. I know that is so important, all of these, and I think as we try and read each step, we can recognize which one we need to improve on more, and keep adding and improving from there. And as I said, attention has been my roughest, definitely has been my roughest, and as I've studied this, I've been able to apply it in my life, and I know that I've become a better listener, and through that I've become a better friend, which is everything I could ask for. So this 10-hour project has been very good.